Greetings, Doc Griffin here, your Swing Surge Director of Club Fitting, and yes, it's time once again for the doctor's house call. This is part 2 of OEM versus component as far as the quality and construction of golf equipment. The last installment, part 1, we dealt with the quality. Today I'm going to deal more with the actual finished product of the golf club. And to preface this, I'm going to tell you a true story, a couple of them that had to do with while in previous life, you would say, basically when I used to work with the OEMs. I had a customer that I used to work with quite frequently. He would change clubs almost as frequently as we changed our socks. And Frank's specs were a 1/4 inch short and 1 degree flat. And the company I was working with at the time built Frank his set, sent it out, and Frank calls me and said, "I don't think these are right." So I check them, and sure enough, they're not right. We send them back, they come back, we check them, they're not right. We send them back, they come back, we check them, they're not right. Now, folks, it's not real difficult to make a set 1/4 inch short of standard and 1 degree flat off of standard. But after the third time, the company didn't get it right. So I told Frank, don't worry about it, I will personally fix them. One other instance, I ordered a set of clubs for a gentleman that was to be 4 degrees flat. The 8 clubs came in. No 2 clubs were consistently in the same realm, meaning 4 degrees flat. Out of the 8, only 1 was 4 degrees flat, and the clubs ranged from 4 degrees flat all the way up to 4 degrees upright. Not quite good. And there have been some other instances where I've gotten some clubs in here from OEMs and stuff, or some people that I do work for, and check them, and the lofts are off. Instead of being 4 degrees gaps, there's sometimes 6 to 7 degrees. Got one in last week, there was only 1 degree difference between the lofts. Lies are off. And then we'll go even further into, let's talk about the engine of the golf club, the shaft. Frequencies don't match. I've shown you that before when we've talked about the vibrational frequencies of shaft. Just because it says it on the shaft doesn't mean that's actually what it is. And if you're buying an off-the-rack shelf where they're using 1/2 inch increments, there should be 4 cycles between shafts. Very rarely does that ever happen. Forget talking about MOI matching, they do swing weight. Even that's not consistent through the set. Most of us professional club builders and fitters will also do what we call pure the shaft or flow the shaft. And I've shown you that in previous videos, that where when you load and unload the shaft, it moves back and forth in a straight line, not wobbling. Okay, so these are all things that you don't get when you buy an off-the-rack shelf. Now, when you go into a professional club fitter and builder, what you can expect is a set that, number 1, the lofts and lies are set correctly. Number 2, most of us are MOI matching the set, which means it takes the same effort to swing club at one end, club in the middle, or club at the other end. In other words, they all swing the same, take the same effort. Then you're looking at, we frequency match the shafts, and we can do a lot of different things. We're not locked into a 1/2 inch difference in length. We can do whatever we want. It's that simple, and we don't have to stay to 4 cycles between shafts. We can do what we want there too, to match what the golfer needs. A lot of us are even using constant weight shafts now as far as steel, and this is really very, very good shafts. The consistency among shafts, between the shafts, is just incredible. So the bottom line, guys, is the difference we looked at last week about quality. The components are as good a quality as whatever is out there on the market. But now when you get to the finished product, that's where the biggest difference is coming in. The stuff that is mass produced and just thrown out there on the shelf and put out there for you to buy. And I'll even go one step further. Even if you have it a fitting in a retail shop where they check you for length, lie, flex, and grip, chances are you're still not going to get the set correct all the way through the entire set. But when you go to a certified club fitter and builder, we have to do this right, because this is where we make our living. We're not dealing in volume of people coming in, and turning a lot of product over. We're dealing in a quality product. So once again, the major difference between going in and buying off the rack or going in and have a professional fitting and an experience there with a certified fitter is, number one, the quality of the entire product should far surpass what you get off the rack. Now, there's been some discussion recently on the blog regarding price. I can only address my pricing structure. I can't address others. If you came into my shop and got a full bag, you will spend pretty close to what you would have spent if you went into a retail store. What do you get that's different? You get a set that is made specifically for you and the dynamics of your swing, and that's what it's all about. What we're doing is eliminating equipment out of the equation to bad results or negative results when you hit a golf ball. In other words, we're allowing the equipment to work with you so that you can make a better golf swing and not to have to make compensations for equipment that doesn't fit. So, we've had the questions on the blog also, how do I find a certified fitter? Well, if you look up just above my head, you'll see a tab that says golf instruction. Click on that tab and then you'll see teachers, and then down near the bottom you'll see fitters. Click on that tab under the main heading and you'll find a listing of all of our certified fitters in different areas across the country. If there's not one listed, I'm sorry, we just don't have one. And most of us are accessible. Pick up the phone, email us, we'll be glad to talk to you, answer your questions. Well, that's it for me today. As always, we appreciate your support, your efforts, your input on the blog. If there's anything that I can help you with personally, or you've got a question, feel free to pick up the phone, call me, or email me, or just put the question on the blog. I make a serious effort to answer all the questions that are on there. A lot of times I don't answer your specific questions because I see that some of our longtime bloggers have already answered it, and if they've answered it correctly, I'm not going to take the time to answer it. So thanks again, and as always, remember, better golf is just a fit away.